Welcome to my channel. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews. My name is John and I have a new album review by the band Styx. It's called Crash of the Crown. But before I begin, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I do rock and metal reviews, rankings, and more. So the band Styx, they've been around since the early 70s. They were a progressive rock band. Then they changed their styles, went to more like AOR rock and more like pop or a little bit of hard rock as well. Their first big album is called The Grand Illusion, that came out in 1977. And this one has the hit Come Sail Away. Now you might remember an old South Park episode where the kids talk about how like when you hear like the intro to that song, it was like, I'm sailing away. And then like once you hear that, you gotta like hear the rest of it, otherwise you'll go crazy. So it's a pretty funny episode, but that's always reminds me of that. But it's such a catchy song, just such a great song from the 70s. You probably also know Mr. Roboto. That's the song from the 80s. That's the one that kind of like taught us all to say thank you in Japanese. And back then the vocalist was Dennis DeYoung. He had a very like theatrical vocal style, and he's not in the band anymore. He actually released a solo album, I think like a week prior to this. I haven't heard that one yet, but he left the band in 1999 and was replaced by Larwence Gowan. So he's the vocalist now. He's a really nice, good like operatic, like really vocal style. Another notable member of the band of Styx is Tommy Shaw. So he's a really great guitarist. Been around a long time. You might remember him from Damn Yankees in the late 80s. But he's still in the band, and it's really a great record. So this album is a return to their prog rock roots. It's very reminiscent of the early 70s progressive rock style. There are 15 songs with a runtime of 43 minutes. Songs are very short, about 2 or 3 minutes long. I think the longest song is like 4 minutes. The album starts out with The Fight of Our Lives. It's just a 2-minute track. Brings back that old like 70s prog rock style. Very keyboard heavy. There's like a short guitar solo. A lot going on in 2 minutes. The vocals are a little reminiscent of the band Yes. And this goes into a song called Monster. This one has a brief keyboard intro. Has some acoustic guitars in the verse. Really cool. Some tempo changes and some acoustic parts and a really cool drum solo. Has a really catchy chorus and has a line like a monster chasing its tail. I always thought that's a cool line. Has a pretty cool electric guitar solo as well. They slowed down a bit with the song Reveries. The intro is like an acoustic intro. Reminds me a lot of Jethro Tull, but just quickly changes pace. Goes into like a prog rock. You hear lots of keyboards. And has some tempo changes. Gets a little faster during the chorus. So it's a really good song. They slowed down again with Hold Back the Darkness, and this one sounds like the mid 70s, like Pink Floyd, like that like Wish You Were Here era or Animals era. That's kind of what it reminds me of, but it's a laid back acoustic track, has some really great vocals. Keyboards really sound good. They add a lot of texture to the song. And the song also has some like layered vocals and a really like short like guitar solo. Next is Save Us From Ourselves, and this has those it starts out with like a sound bite from a movie, and the song itself is like a classic rock song with like a rocking guitar and keyboard intro. Has a really catchy chorus. It's very upbeat. You do hear that sound bite again, and I'm not really sure what it is. But I think it's like the same thing as Iron Maiden's Aces High. I'm not really sure, but if you hear it, let me know. Next is the title track. Really good song, upbeat rocker, 70s prog rock, very like epic song, like condensed into less than like 4 minutes. Really like the background vocals on this track, and lots of tempo changes and chorus style vocals. The vocals even sound a little bit like Freddie Mercury at times. I thought that was pretty cool. Next is Our Wonderful Lives, and it's an acoustic driven guitar track. It's really nice melody, some nice uplifting lyrics. After that is a song called Common Ground, and this one has more of like an epic prog rock sound, some futuristic keyboards, some acoustic guitars, very reminiscent of like the early 70s Yes. I'm going to be like dropping that name a lot because that's kind of like what this album reminds me of. Really cool drum solo, and just a lot going on. It's just a 4-minute song. Next is Sound the Alarm, a little more laid back acoustic track. Probably like the most like modern sounding song on the album. It could like fit onto like today's like pop radio station. Still very good, but it doesn't lose its like progginess. You know, it still has that prog sound, but it is a little more like modern sounding. Next is Long Live the King, and this one does have more of like a modern rock feel as well. The lyrics are very fantasy inspired. It almost sounds like something that you would hear on like a 70s like rainbow song. I mean lyrically, I mean not the sound of the song, but really cool like fantasy lyrics. Next is a 39-second short song called Lost at Sea. Goes right into Coming Out on the Other Side. This one has a really cool like drum beat, and it's a pretty cool like piano based song. The vocals are very melodic in this one. It has a pretty cool like electric guitar solo. Next is Two of Those, an early 70s like keyboard song, a lot of like theatrical vocals. 3-minute song, pretty cool. Next is Another Farewell, just 27-second instrumental, going into Stream, which is the final song. Really cool, a clean guitar intro. This one is a little more minimalistic than the others, just a simple guitar riff. It's very effective. It just kind of carries the song throughout. The song ends with like a pretty long like guitar solo, which pretty much closes out the album. So in conclusion, if you like 70s prog rock, you would like this album. It's kind of like a condensed version of like a typical prog album. Instead of like 3 long songs, it's like 15 short songs, but still that same sound. The vocals are great, the guitars are melodic. A lot of those like proggy, like 70s style features the keyboards. My only complaint is that you don't really hear the bass too much, but lots of acoustic guitars, lots of electric guitars, lots of guitar solos. Really great rock album. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Really nice throwback to the 70s. If you're a prog rock fan, definitely check it out. So that's it. Let me know in the comments what you thought. So have you heard any of the recent albums? You know, I haven't heard much of theirs. I haven't really heard anything since the 80s. But if you've heard any of the recent stuff, let me know how it compares. I will be doing some anniversary albums for June that I missed. I was kind of focused on my top 50. It was started this month. I'm working on a Halloween ranking, but it might take some time. I'm not sure if I'm going to get it done this week. Just those albums are long, and you know, they take some time. I want to kind of give it some time to give everyone at least 2 listens, and they do have 15 albums. So that's it. Check out my in-video links. I'll see you in the next one.